Good afternoon, Bobby G from Championship Golf Network. So honored today to be speaking with Mackenzie Lee, who I personally had the privilege of walking 18 holes during her final win at this year's North-South Amateur. Mackenzie, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us today.
Hi, it's nice to see you guys again. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so great to see you. You are a star. You have an amazing smile and personality, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But first, I want to take you back to the tender age of 2 years old when you started playing golf. So how did that start?
So my dad and my older brother played golf. So I was just around it a lot. And then I guess I just wanted attention at the time. So, I just started picking up golf balls and then, here I am now.
There you are now. And then in your junior career, I mean, you whatever they taught you or whoever your coach was, you came out of the gates like on fire. So 2019 AJGA All-Star team, All American second team in 19 and 20, 2021 All American first team, four-time Arkansas State junior match play champion.
Yeah.
So when did that start? Like at age 15, 14?
13, because I
13.
didn't play my last year. Yeah.
Okay. So that was where you got on a big stage and you finally realized like, hey, the entire state, the Razorback state, you're taking everyone down. And there was you were number one. What bring us back a little bit to like at that point, like where did you think you could go with golf back at, when you were a junior?
So I honestly never really thought about turning professional. Not since I was 7 or 8 years old. I wanted to get scholarship for college. I wanted to pursue something in the sports industry, and I figured golf was the best way for me to get into a university that I really wanted to go to. So that was the initial goal. I did think about going professional for like 1 or 2 years after college and then figuring out life from there, which still kind of is still part of my plan, but I would say things have changed a little bit since then.
So just as an aside, I've been with you in person and you are bubbly, fun, composed. And on this interview, you're acting really serious. Like you,
I mean,
you,
you asked me a
you
serious question.
yeah. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that, because when you're out on the course, my observations of you is that you are super, super hyper focused, but in between shots, you are just enjoyable, fun, gregarious, funny.
Yeah.
You have really good shtick with players and with your caddies and with guests and with the viewing audience. And this is really, really neat that you are able to really lock in. And the reason why I said that is because when you went to college, you were like already second on the team scoring average
Yeah.
freshman year. And so you came out of the gates, like I said earlier, like when you got to college, you were like all in. You had 8 top 10 finishes in 12 events, which is unbelievable. You broke par, a record number of par under rounds. And there's a list of tournaments where you finished second, third, fourth, eighth. I mean, your freshman year, like what? There was no holding you back. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't name a street after you there.
Yeah, it was honestly a really big struggle. I've said it in a few of my interviews after North and South. I had a lot of shortcomings, like as you said, a lot of second places, third places. And it's honestly been like really, really stressful, really, really upsetting. Because it felt like I couldn't win. But yeah, I mean, looking at it, I've always been a consistent player and very grateful for that. I'm not saying like it's not good enough, but at the same time, being able to win is like another step, I guess. So
So, but don't you think that those seconds and thirds and fourths like put you in a position where like you're beating on the door, you're right there, and it kind of like internally like, what do I got to do next to get in the winner's circle? Because then your sophomore year, you go out 12 rounds in the 60s, 12 rounds. That's insane. Your lowest round was 62.
yeah,
62. Okay. Ranked 32 nationally. Like even your sophomore year, you took it to another level and you were still like climbing that ladder, right?
yeah. I feel like ranking wise for collegiate and like nationally, it's been pretty steady since my freshman year. I've always been from that 35 to 20 margin. Um, but yeah, no, I constantly was knocking on the door. It honestly felt like my hands were bleeding from knocking because it would never open. Um, so yeah, it's been a good past 3 years. It just got better. So
Yep. And then junior year, you got you tied number one AM, right? Lottie Wode. Um, you both tied third, and you had an T3 finish at the Veritex. You had another unbelievable 25 out of 35 rounds under par. I mean, so like par's a bad day for you, right? Like you want to go home and like,
it depends. It depends on the golf course. Like if I shot even par at Pinehurst, I wouldn't be too upset.
right?
If I shot even par at the course where I shot 62 at, I'd probably be contemplating my decisions again.
Okay. All right. So now you get and you had a great junior year there, and then you light it up at the North South. So let's focus on that because that's where I personally, started really having a real interest in your career from a broadcaster standpoint, and was able to spend time with you on the course and really watch you, not only listen to you, but also watch your body language and see how you handled yourself during that tournament. And can you just walk us through like the qualifiers and the other rounds real briefly, and then we'll talk about the final round last.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that if I shot something like even par, that would easily get me through the cut. So that was my whole goal during the during the first 2 rounds of stroke play. I shot one under the first day with a really good eagle on my 17th hole, which was hole number 8 on that course. And um second day, like I love playing number 2. Number 2 is one of my favorite courses at Pinehurst. I think it has its quirks. It's very challenging, but at the same time, it's very gettable. So I had higher expectations for myself, especially because I played it a few times the previous year from making it to quarterfinals. So I had higher expectations for myself. Started off pretty steady, and then on hole number 5, I like to call it I got number 2'd on. Like there's just no other way to explain it, turtleback greens or turtle shell greens, you're going back and forth. Um, I will say I lost my composure a little bit right there. And it's hard not to. Like you made a quad on a par. So yeah, that happened. I'm trying to hold on to my sanity at that point. And then dad's just throwing, he's just being mean to me. He's like, "Oh, why would you do that? Like, you're not even gonna make the cut anymore." And so I was just fed up at that point. So I said, "Okay, that's it. You're not on the bag in the back 9."
So that was the beginning of the quote caddy controversy this year that became pretty public. And so not to dwell on it, but so your first caddy was your father,
Yes.
and then you just explained that he got 86th. And then who was your next caddy after that?
So my friend Sydney Hammett, who goes to Western Kentucky, she played in the playoff for the cut, and she sadly did not make it, and offered to caddy for me in my round of 32. So I had her caddy, which was a great time. It was so much fun that I kept her for 20 holes. I'm sure she wanted to escape. It wasn't intentional, I will say that. After that, it was my host one of the or sorry, it was the person that was hosting me that week. Bob wanted to caddy for me. And I mean, I was all for it because he's just been so great that whole week for me, like really supportive. And so I promised, like, if I make it to the final match, I'll let you caddy for me. And who knows, I made it to the final match, and I was like, okay, Bob, you're on the bag now. Um, we were a little iffy about it because he did recently have a knee injury. And so we weren't sure if he was going to be able to make the whole round. And I said, hey, like, if it's bothering you, just let me know, and I can always take it from there by myself.
Right.
And he kept on telling me, like, he was fine, but, like, part of me was, like, constantly thinking about it and just checking up on him. And I think that's when I realized, like, oh, I really need to just focus on myself and my game because it's an important stage right now. I have business to take care of. So I was like, hey, like, I'm going to push the bag from here. You can always walk with me if you want, but I think I'd rather push the bag myself.
And wasn't that a couple holes before the rain delay?
That was the whole of the rain delay, number 5.
Yeah, I remember, because I remember watching him take off, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, where's he going? And then, as luck would have it, there was a volunteer that jumped in to, like, take over.
Yeah,
How did that come about?
so during the rain delay, I was in the locker room waiting for us to get back out there, and I think she was the volunteer coordinator. She came up and she was like, I noticed that you didn't have a caddy after 5. If you want, we've got permission from the tournament committee and everything. Like, if you need, we have someone who's been helping out this whole week at Pinehurst, and we got permission that he can caddy for you if you need it. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that's great. Like, I've been playing by myself this whole week for the most part, so I wasn't too bothered. But I told them, like, if I need it, if I'm starting to hit my wall physically, then I will call him in. And so, yeah, that's what I did on hole 12. I was like, Paul, it's time. And he was like, it's time? Okay.
Yeah. But just to put this into context, that was the last day was a very, very long day, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
We played.
You started at like what, 6:30 in the morning when yeah.
Yeah. I only played up till the 6th hole the day before for that match. So I played 10 holes that morning, got done at 8:20, teed off at 8:40, and then went I think I had about an hour and 30 minutes from semifinals to final match. So it was a long day, 43 holes total.
Right. Yeah, no, I remember you were like,
Counting down.
Yeah, you were kind of like, I've been playing golf all day, but all throughout that, Mackenzie, I got to tell you that you were just gracious and kind, and I think all your competitors love you because you're just so good-hearted. You are such a great sports person on the course about rooting for your competitor, always good shot. And then I saw you almost make another hole in one. You were 9 inches from the cup, and your opponent just conceded the putt. I mean, I thought that was going in. I was right there. I couldn't believe it that it didn't go in. But I thought personally, that was a turning point of the match.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, the first few holes, I was honestly frustrated. I don't know if you could tell, but especially during the whole of the rain delay, I was very aggravated by the fact that this was like our 3rd or 4th lightning delay that we had this week. And it was starting to sprinkle, and I was starting to get tired from, playing in the morning. But I think the lightning delay honestly helped me in my favor because I got to decompress a little bit, eat stuff, call people, talk to people, and just kind of refresh my whole system. After that, like, I felt like I was playing much better. And I will say number 9 was a turning point because match play is all about flow and, who has the right, like who's got the energy at that moment. And that whole was definitely a turning point for me, especially knowing like other people, the spectators, they were all like, oh my gosh, she's the one that made a hole in one. She's about to make another one. So yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that changed a lot of things for us.
Yeah. And just to back up, I'm sorry to do this, but number 8, I think you lost that hole.
I did. Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, whoa, this is a real important inflection moment. And rather than back down after losing that hole, you almost knock it in on the next hole, which I was like, whoa, she is a competitor. Like to lose that hole, get back up to the tee, almost knock it in the hole. That was like, that closed that door pretty quickly. So before we go on to the last couple of holes, I just have to ask you a fun personal question. What is your favorite karaoke song?
That's very random. I think I really love Rihanna.
Okay.
I love her song. Umbrella is really good. I like Airplanes by Hayley Williams, I think.
Okay.
I'm a big early 2010s fan, so like Stereo Hearts, Bruno Mars songs. So yeah, all those stuff.
All right. So we compile a list of all the favorite songs at the end of the season, and we're going to publish a list of all the top karaoke songs from all the players.
Okay.
So we'll see if how that ranks up there.
Yeah.
So just to close out and finish up on the round, I thought 17 was incredible. 16 and 17 were really, really tense. You could cut it with a knife. You had the men up there right before you. Women play faster than men. You guys waited a fair amount of time. And I remember talking to you about that. I'm like, how come you all aren't playing ahead of the men? Like you guys would already be having dinner right now and they'd still be on 14. And but I mean, you're focused, but you don't waste any time. You get up there, you hit a great approach shot. And so walk us through what happened on 17 green, because that was pretty intense.
Yeah, I think the intensity kind of built up from 16. My ball rolled back. She won the hole. I made a really good putt on 15 and 14 to get to 3 up. She won 16 and I was like, okay, I've never seen 17 today. So I guess we'll have a look. So I hit a good shot and I was just telling myself, I just need to tie this hole. Jazzy didn't really hit the best birdie putt, so I was like, okay, just 2 putt, move on. That's all I need to do. And of course, that's the one time I leave it like 4 feet short.
That was the longest. That was the longest
par putt I had.
Leave yourself the whole day. Everything else was like a gimme or given, but that was like a real the audience was saying, make her win, make her win. And you stepped up and you rolled it in. It was a beautiful putt. It was so exciting.
Yeah.
Watch that. But just to go back for a second on 16, when your ball rolled off the green, my heart stopped. Like I think you hit this great shot. It was right on line, and then it stopped, and then it slowly started coming back, and then it rolled off. And I remember looking, and you're like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, I don't know if this is allowed to say, but I did drop the F-bomb.
I didn't want to say it, but I heard it.
Yeah.
But just for the record, yes, you are allowed to say it. But okay. I was like, that is so unfair because that was in the hole. I mean, it was maybe like 8 feet short, but it was right on line, and it just kept picking up. And that just shows the severity of that course and how hard it was playing. And like we watch on TV, we're like, that's impossible, but yet it happens. And just to regress a little bit, like, how do you regroup after that? Mentally, like you hit a great shot, you hit your number, and maybe it was 6 inches short or whatever, but then now you're 30 feet away again?
Yeah. So yeah, it kind of goes back to what happened on number 8 as well. It's match play, it's one shot. it doesn't matter. Or it's one hole, it doesn't matter. I was 3 up, I still am 2 up. And you never know what Jazzy's gonna do. So I feel like it's just, knowing that it's not as big of a deal unless you make it a big deal for yourself.
Right. But you hit a great approach shot and then you knocked it in, and so you still got it up and down. So it was really, really stellar. How was that ride into 18 in the clubhouse after you closed it out at 17? I remember watching you and all your friends, and you were, super stoked and excited, but was that just like the most amazing ride in?
It was a really relieving ride in. Like I said, it's been a while since I won anything. Always second place, always third place. It's so bad to the point. My sophomore year, one of the freshmen on our team was like, Mackie, really, can you just please win? Like, you're always coming second. I looked at her and I was like, you think I'm doing this on purpose right now? Like, are you kidding me? Like, what makes you think that I don't want to win? I'm trying. So it was a really relieving moment for me. And I was just texting everyone. My text was like flooding in. When I tell you that everything was in all caps, all caps, and I was just replying to the text messages. I was really overwhelmed with joy
Yep.
and relief. And then when I got to I knew I was gonna have to get ready for the award ceremony, so I took my bag of like makeup and clothes and other stuff, and I took it to the bathroom, and I was on the phone. I was on the phone with my boyfriend. I was on my phone with my teammates and stuff. And whenever I called my teammates, I was so close to like just letting my tears go, because they've just been through it. They know how desperate I am for this win. So it was a really heartwarming moment.
So
And really
I
exciting.
think that Championship Golf Network played an important part in your win. And we also covered Tyler Watts at the Sunny Hannah, and he won there. He almost won, as you know, in the playoff hole. And I chatted with Tyler a little bit about that. And so I'm going to make a prediction that the floodgates are now open, and that this fall we're going to see you win a lot more tournaments. And we're so excited for you and so honored to have spent this time with you. Just a couple final questions. I know that your parents have played a really important part of your golf development, caddying issues aside. So I thought, you'd want to say a couple nice things about your parents and all the support they've given you. I get a lot of emails and texts from people like that. So nice that you always let the kids say something about their parents. So I want to let you do a shout out to them and how much love and support you have for them. And then also, if you want to do a shout out to your boyfriend, I'm sure he's going to want to hear that as well. And then the last question I'm going to ask, which I was sworn to secrecy about your NIL deal, and I cleared that with you before. So something about your new deal as well would be great to close out on.
Yeah, I'll start off with the NILs. I've been very blessed with a lot of great supporters around me, like Texas Day Brazil. Veritex Bank was there whenever I was playing at Anwa, and now I am with Arcus Golf. They've just been so amazing, just all support, and I think part of it is from the coaches' relationships that they've built, and the things that I've learned from them to when it comes to building these connections with donors. So I want to say a big thank you to my supporters, obviously, and my coaches and my teammates for even giving me the opportunity to be a part of their team. And especially my teammates too. Like I said, we have a really good relationship, and I'm sure a lot of that comes from the environment we built, but also the environment that the coaches were able to build for us, and recruiting the right person, obviously. They know what we need as teammates, so they're always on the lookout for the best fit for our team. And yeah, and then onto my family. They've always been there for me. Like, I'm sure every athlete can relate to this, but without familial support, it's just impossible.
Yeah.
My dad's been chasing me around all the time since I was literally 2, 3 years old. And I really want to say a big thank you to my parents, especially my mom. She's always been my role model. She always will be my role model. And, just thinking about her makes me tear up sometimes.
I'm sorry, but we like to make these very real, and it's so cool to interview such, prominent like athletes, yourself included, where it's always nice to reflect upon and appreciate, those. And I know people watching really appreciate it as well, because that's what I'm told. And so I always like to make time for that, because usually it's just always about what the broadcaster wants to hear and doesn't give the opportunity for you to take the time to thank those that you care about and love the most. You're a remarkable young athlete, and I can't wait to see you again. You are so much fun to be around. We could talk about that later. I had the best time walking with you. And my last promise in this interview is, as I make, is that if you ever need a very competent, relaxed, chill, good caddy, I'm your guy. Okay. Matthew will give you my number. You can never call me. You need a backup, whatever, practice round. Been at every golf course, so hopefully I can add some value. All you have to do is buy me lunch. That's it. No fee. So, Mac, again, it was so much fun. Thank you for taking the time. I know you're going to have an amazing year at SMU, and they've been great to us. And we'll be following you and hope to talk to you again. And thank you again for taking some time out and sharing with us all about the great things that you've accomplished. We really are pulling for you, rooting for you, and hopefully, we'll look forward to a lot other great tournaments and a lot of wins in 2025 and 2026.
Yeah,
Thanks again, Mackenzie.
thank you for doing everything like with College Golf Network. It's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.